thecousinsweird. And we are in Wanakina, New York, in a cabin on the water, which is the best place to record a podcast.
It's the best place to be, period.
Yeah. We're recording in the bunkhouse, and we're holding our microphones like Bob Barker while we talk.
I have my pinky up and everything.
Yeah. We're sitting on a bed, and we're hoping this sound comes through good, because who knows? But we're doing it.
We're trying. We're doing this. And we've been here, my parents and I and my brothers got here Saturday, and it's been fun. This is my favorite place on the planet. It's the most beautiful place in the world. I would agree. It's beautiful here.
I love it here. And it's such a little tiny community, and it's off the beaten path in the Adirondacks, so no one knows about it. So don't you come try to steal my spot. And you're hearing this. This is my spot. You're not allowed to steal it. You can visit, but you can't steal it.
So, like, on our way out here, I stopped at Dunkin' to get coffee, because I'm back on the high test, baby.
Ooh, boy.
Loving life with the regular. I need my cold brew fix. I'm like, oh, it's cold brew.
Oh, God, I love cold brew.
But I have a huge pet peeve with freaking coffee drinks, okay? Especially, like, the new thing now is you get a drink and they give you the lid with the sippy part on it instead of a straw, which I actually like better than a straw.
I like the sippy lid.
the sippy lid better. They don't freaking stir your coffee drink. And then you look and all the flavor is at the bottom, and you don't have a straw to stir it.
Yeah, that's true.
And they do, like, these stupid... Okay, so I'm, like, old school coffee drinker. Like, I'm an old school coffee shop girl. Like, in the 90s, it was like, you go and you sit and you get your espresso, and it's in a little cup, and it's tiny, and it's delicious, and, you know, you get your cappuccino, and it's all the foam, and you get a macchiato. A real Italian macchiato. Just being a snob. Is a shot of espresso with a dollop of foamed milk on top.
Okay.
That's what it's supposed to be. And if it was a caramel macchiato, they'd like drizzle caramel in the cup before they put the espresso in it, or they drizzle on top. So like it's like pure espresso. I'm purist. And now they give you these drinks, and it's just they pour it on top and they don't stir it. And I hate that. Like, stir the damn coffee up. I'm not gonna drink it like that. I gotta stir it up first.
You gotta do the swivel, the cup swivel.
It doesn't get the mix right. I'm being wicked. I hate it, and I hate the stupid Starbucks thing. Oh, it's a macchiato. It's not a macchiato. That's something you guys made up and called a macchiato, but it's not a macchiato.
But I bet it tastes good.
If you stir it.
Yeah, that's true.
What is this business with, like, not stirring drinks? It's like, are you really that busy? You can't stir
Maybe
drink?
they want you to do it yourself.
They don't give me a spoon. Or a straw.
They should froth it like that.
I'm not in the car when I'm driving.
No, I said they should.
They should just take they have those nice spoons with a long stem, and they can just stir it up. I've seen them do it. I ask them. I come to pick up because I do my order ahead, and please stir that for me. And I hand it back to them.
They probably love you when you drive up.
They love me.
Hand it back.
I work next door to
okay.
So they know me by now.
All right.
And the people that are new are the ones that don't stir my drink.
How dare they?
Stir my damn drink. Stir it. It takes 3 seconds. Just whoop, 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 whoop.
It's crazy.
The raccoon is still hanging around in my garage.
Oh, yeah? You get in your car again?
No, I make sure those windows are up.
Oh, good.
I almost need to lock my car just so I know that little bastard's not going to get in there. But you can't, like, he's been into everything. I had a bag of, I had to take cans back for their deposit. That's all shredded.
Oh, good.
He didn't get anything. Licked the can. I hope he cut his tongue on those cans.
That's mean. Poor little raccoon. He's stupid. He doesn't know anything.
That's true. But he's been walking all over my car, getting it all muddy.
Getting little raccoon prints all over it.
There's little mud everywhere. I'm like, where are you getting this mud, you jerk? But anyway.
I haven't seen a raccoon, and I'm in the woods.
I haven't physically seen him. I've just seen his leavings.
I haven't even seen his leaving.
If he takes a dump on my car, I'm going to be pissed.
My
car is fixed, though.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Yay.
You didn't hear me.
I didn't hear you. You're so stealth.
I was in true stealth mode with my Prius.
Yay.
That's the best thing about Priuses. They're, like, friggin' silent.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's silent even when it's not on the electric motor now.
Yay.
I love it. I'm like, oh my god, I can hear my music. I can drive with the windows down. Because before it was so loud, you put the windows down and you're deaf.
Especially if you're up against another thing.
Yeah.
It echoes back at you even louder.
And like yesterday and this morning, and of course the price of gas is high, even though I have a very fuel efficient car. I still like, if it's nice out, roll the windows down, turn off the AC, blare up my music. Of course you gotta find something from my youth I was listening to Rancid really loud in the car. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. I'm like, I'm so old.
I know.
It's fun.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Anything on your end other than being...
I'm just here and I'm happy. I'm here and I'm happy. I sleep better here than I do anywhere else, and I just love it here. It's just peaceful and nice.
Let's buy it.
Yeah, I want to. If I had money.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just live here all year round.
I would too. Like, what do you mean summer home?
Yeah, this is my home.
It's a home.
I will live here. I will start a YouTube channel about living here.
This bunkhouse would get real cold in the winter.
Well, I can move into the house.
I would insulate the shit.
You could insulate this real easy. Insulate it. Put a little heater in here. You're good to go.
Put a little mini fridge over there.
Yeah, I could live in this bunkhouse. Put me a little kitchen over there and get rid of that bunk bed. Yeah. My house. I got this.
You got it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. So today, we're going back to September 19th, 1991.
Okay.
It's not too far back. We'll get there, though.
Okay.
High in the Ötztal Alps mountain range.
Okay.
It's on the right now. We're in the Alps. We're on the border of Italy and Austria. Two German tourists by the name of Helmut and Erica Simon. They were hiking or probably more like climbing around in the Alps on their vacation. They're about an elevation of 10,530 feet above sea level.
That's pretty high.
They're up pretty high, yeah. So let's just say they're hiking. They're like seasoned climbers, these people.
Yes.
Yeah, to climb mountains. They stumbled upon a deceased person.
Oh,
they
goodness.
Found a body on the top of this mountain. They went back and they found a mountain gendarme, which is like a French word means it's a man-at-arms. He was basically a mountain, I would say policeman, but he's more like a soldier kind of. Like he was just one of the people that patrol in the mountain.
Okay.
Keep the peace, basically. They found this guy, and then he went back to the spot they told him the next day to retrieve this dead mountaineer that they found. He was unable to due to the fact that the lower half of this person was still frozen in ice.
Oh.
So, like, there's like, how long has he been up here? You know, he thinks it's just some mountaineer who got succumbed to the elements while he was hiking, you know? And then the weather, it was bad weather, so they had to go and they came back. So we're looking, many groups had come to see, like, oh, there's a dead body up in the mountains, we're trying to get it out.
Yeah.
So these people that are around and they're going and they're looking and they're trying to help them, and it was like there's film crews there because it's
a dead person.
Who's this person? We gotta figure out who this is. His family's missing him, probably. They finally, by September 22nd, so this is only 3 days later, it took them 3 days to remove the body from the ice and from the mountain. And they put the body in a helicopter and they flew it down. The body was found face down in the ice with one arm crossed over in front. So he's laying face down. Appeared to be unclothed. But they found a bunch of artifacts. Like, they found a bag and they found a bunch of stuff with the body. They assumed it was a person, so they just gathered it all up, sent it all back down the mountain. They transported the body to the medical examiner in Innsbruck, Austria, along with all the objects found with the remains. And a couple days later, so September 24th, an archaeologist by the name of Conrad Spindler from one of the local colleges examined the body and the objects found with the body. And some of these objects were a 24-inch long copper axe with a wooden handle made of yew, the wood yew, a shirt-bladed knife, and a shirt is basically it's like a sedimentary rock. So it's basically a knife that's a rock.
Okay.
Like a filed-down rock. Also with a wooden handle. And the handle of this knife was made of ash. This is a bunch of information you don't really need, but I'm giving it to you anyway. Because that's how I am. I'm extra. They found a quiver of arrows, and the arrows all had wooden shafts. 2 of them were broken, but they had fletching, the feather fletching.
Okay.
And they also had flint heads on them. The rest of the arrows were fletched, but they didn't have any tips on them. So they were basically like an arrow with the feathers at the end, but no pointy end.
Okay.
Which is, like, dudes up in the mountains with weird tools that are real old.
Yeah, like, that doesn't look like modern day things.
It's not. Also, they also found a string, which they would assume is for a bow. They found a bow made of yew. It had been broken, but it had been broken by the people who collected it. Like,
Okay.
it was a new break, because that's fun. They had found a sharp tool made from an antler and another unidentified tool. It was another, like, sharp, pokey tool. They also found a little pouch, and it had berries in it. They found 2 baskets made from birch bark, 2 different kinds of mushrooms strung on a leather string, like dried mushrooms on a leather string.
Oh, like a necklace.
Interesting, but not like were small, like they were tied together. And these mushrooms were found. There were 2 different kinds of mushrooms, and one of the mushrooms had properties that were used for anti-parasitic. Like, people use them if they have intestinal parasites.
Oh.
They would eat them. And the other was primarily used as tinder, and it's a type of, it grows on a it's like a big, like a fungus that grows on a tree, and people use it to start fires because it's really flammable, it gets really dry. So he had this weird, like, anti-parasitic mushroom, and then one that's used as tinder, and they found another little kit or pouch containing dried up different types of plants. They found a piece of flint and a piece of pyrite, which you would use to make sparks. So it's basically a little fire-making kit this guy had. And I'm like, why wouldn't he just have matches? It's because
he's not from
this guy
this century.
was from the Copper Age.
Holy shit.
The Copper Age, which is before the Bronze Age.
Right.
This was 5,000 to 3,000 BCE.
Holy shit.
Is how old this dude was. That's
and
like when he was from. Yeah. Old. Real old. Older than the pyramids.
Oh my god.
Older than Stonehenge.
Where is this they found him again?
In the Alps.
In the Alps, okay.
Otzi. They call him Otzi because he's found in the Ötztal Mountains.
Okay.
In the Ötztal part of the Alps. But yeah, he lived, they carbon dated him and his things, and they said that he lived between 3,359 BCE and 3,105 BCE.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude was old. old. And he was
was there.
They found him and thought he was a dead body because he
had hair, I bet.
He had skin.
Yeah.
And he had a face. And he had, like, limbs. He would look like a guy who died. Like, if his family was around, they probably could have identified him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's amazing. The pyramids were built in 2,250 BCE.
Right.
We're talking a good 100 years after this dude died.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's old.
Yeah, it's amazing that how could
he's an OG person.
Like, he was basically found in a glacier. Like, he died and was frozen in a glacier. In a glacier, and that kept him. They said that some of his body must have been exposed because he did have some decay on him. But for the most part, he was like, he died and then he was like freeze dried.
Wow.
Like, that's what happens if you put meat in your freezer and left it for 1,000 years, it would become a mummy.
But it wouldn't have skin.
Unless you put it in there with skin.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put a person in your freezer, they probably would say that way.
So they've done so many studies on him. Because obviously, like, once they found out, this is not a modern
person.
Corpse. This is an old, like, archaeology. And then because the people that found him thought it was a modern...
Yeah.
We gotta figure out who this guy is and get him off the mountain. They weren't just careful.
Right. They didn't handle it like an archaeologist
as they would have known if they knew that the stuff that he had was 5,000 years old.
Right.
So, I mean, 5,000 years old.
That's crazy.
Insane. Yeah. So, Otzi, as we call him, or the Iceman, not to be confused with Chuck Liddell.
Right.
This is Otzi the Iceman, not Chuck Liddell the Iceman.
Gotcha.
He was about 5'3", and he weighed about 110 pounds when he was alive. This is what they guessed. He said he was very fit. He wasn't very tall, but he was obviously didn't have a lot of fat on him.
Right.
This is a man who was used to walking everywhere. What's he gonna do? Catch an Uber in 3000 BC? Like, I mean,
he didn't really have a choice but to be fit.
But they've done so many studies, like, and it's of course in the 90s they studied as much as they could, but then they keep going back because like technology and
gets
science
better, right?
They keep restudying him and they keep finding out all these different things about him. It's so cool. But this goes in a weird direction too. Oh. It's not just a typical Margaret Mummy story, which most of them aren't. We're going back to my first episode I did. Episode 2 was The Curse of Tutankhamun. Because Mr. Otzi here, he has his own curse. And we'll get to that.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to go through him first.
Okay.
And, how did he get to be dead on the top of a mountain?
Yeah.
So they guesstimated that he was about 45 years old, and they had the museum that he's at has a lifetime replica of him, and dude looks about 70.
Wow.
Yeah, he was
Looking rough.
Rough living dude, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's probably out in the elements all the time. His skin got leathery.
Sure in 3000 BC, 45 was a senior citizen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He was like the old dude, you know. They found in his stomach meat from ibex, which was like a mountain goat type of thing. Wheat berries, einkorn, which is from like wheat bran. It's like a type of bran. Some form of dried fatty meat. And a few, they said basically he ate a few hours before he died because the food was not digested in his stomach. So he ate this food and he's wandering around in the Alps and dies. And they're like, he probably just succumbed to the elements and died. But they did more studies and that was not what happened to him. He also, they found out he had whipworm. So he was treating his own parasites. Like he had parasites and was eating these mushrooms to treat. It's like, how did he know? Like,
yeah. How do you know that would work for him?
Yeah, and how did he know that? It just, they knew that he, like, I have this intestinal issue going on, and if I eat these mushrooms, it makes it feel better. Right. So, and then they crap out a bunch of dead worms.
Yeah.
Yuck. There's no toilet, so when you go, you could.
I don't care. I don't like it.
What came out.
No. I don't ever want to see worms in my poop. He
also had 61 tattoos.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and they were, and I have pictures. So we'll show you. They're not like what we think of as tattoos. They said these were like lines, kind of like lines, and they would probably be, they're made of, they said they're made of wood soot or ash from a fireplace, and they were probably done with little cuts. So they would make a cut and rub the ash in it, and they said some of them were very dark, which tells them that they were gone over multiple times. Right. And the tattoos were located in areas of the body where his skeleton showed signs of degeneration. Like, he had arthritis, and then there were marks. The tattoos were where he hurt. And they were also over meridians used in Chinese medicine, like for acupuncture. Like different, like certain areas of the body control the digestive system, and there were marks there. And wow. It's like, how did, like, just amazing that, like,
the knowledge.
Person, and honestly, the earliest use of acupuncture in China is dated at 1000 BCE. So they were doing that before the Chinese, or it came from them.
Wow.
You know, and you think about it, like, you think acupuncture, this dude was doing acupuncture in, like, 3000 BC.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He had, like, they found his clothes, and, he had a cloak of woven grass, and the rest of his clothes were all made of leather, different types of animals. He had a coat, a belt, leggings, a loincloth, and shoes, and a bearskin cap with a chin strap. And the shoes were lined. They had like a weird webbing of leather, and they were lined with different kinds of leaves and soft grasses.
Oh, neat.
And I also have a picture of what the shoe looked like a drawing of it. And they think that they were part of a snowshoe, and they found like what they thought was like a backpack. And it actually was the frame of a snowshoe. Oh. So, like, his shoes were actually for walking in the snow. And they were really flat.
Like, he insulated them.
Right, and they were insulated with grass.
Oh.
It was really cool. And they said all of his clothes, they DNA tested the leather, and they were all different types of animals, and all from different animals. Like, all the different pieces of his clothing were made from a different animal. Even if it was, like, this is a deer, and the other was a different deer.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just amazing that we have this little time capsule.
Yeah.
Like a huge, like,
it's fascinating.
I know, it's just awesome. And I've known about Otzi for a while, but I didn't know he was cursed. And I'm like, oh, he's cursed. I have to do an episode on him. Because, you know, I'm a nerd. We've gone over this before. It was thought that he died of exposure. So they thought, he just died because he's old and he's out in the elements. Because, I mean, that was rudimentary. They had x-rays and things, but, like, technology improves. 10 years later, in 2001, he was being re-examined using modern technology, modern x-rays and CAT scans, CT scans. They found an arrowhead lodged in his shoulder blade.
Ooh.
And there was a tear.
Foul play.
There was a tear in his coat in the same spot. So, but the arrow was removed, but the arrowhead remained. And the arrowhead shattered his scapula, was lodged near his lung underneath his collarbone, and they said that it actually damaged his subclavian artery. So he bled to death from this, but he also had other damage to his body. He had a head injury, like some kind of blunt force trauma to his head, and he had a lot of cuts on his hands and his arms, and
like
one of the cuts on his
protection
something, and one of the cuts on his thumb was to the bone, but it hadn't shown any signs of healing. So it was definitely done at or
he's
before
defending himself. If it's on arms and hands, they say that's.
But they said when he was shot with that arrow, he basically died within a minute because it
hit that
artery, and so he just bled to death. And then they went over and they took the arrow out, and he could have hit his head when he fell, or it could have been right before. But they tested like the tissues for when you get injured, your body produces this chemical, and he still had that in his body. Oh. So that means he died very quickly after he was injured. So he also had wounds to his chest and apparently the bullet to his head. The DNA analysis done on Otzi and his tools and his clothing found blood from 4 different people on him. One arrowhead had 2 different sources of blood, and one on his knife and one on his coat. Oh. So they're like, he probably shot 2 different men with this arrowhead and killed them, most likely, and retrieved, like he shot one with the arrowhead then retrieved it and then used it again to shoot someone else. And his knife had blood on it from a different person, and like the blood on his coat could have been from him trying to help somebody who was injured, like put them over his shoulder. Or it could have been somebody he was fighting against bled on his coat, like after he was dead. They went to retrieve the arrow. Like that's how I would think what happened. There's lots of stories, but like nobody knows for sure, obviously, because it's just like before written history.
You don't know. You just have to go off of what it looks like.
They've recently discovered that he also had Lyme disease, and they found H. pylori bacteria in his stomach, which is associated with ulcers in the stomach. He had arthritis all through his body, tooth decay and gum disease, and soot in his lungs. So they're like, he had a very high diet high in carbohydrates, which is probably why his teeth were in such bad shape, because he's eating a lot of like high sugary foods, like the grains, which makes sense because like they're getting out of being hunters and gatherers, they're actually becoming farmers. They have goats that they're raising and sheep, and some of the meat that they found was from sheep that are now domesticated. Okay, so it's like we're talking early farming here. Oh wow. And the soot means he was probably in some place that was around an open fire. They think that he might have been a smelter because he had this axe that had a copper head on it, and they're like, it would make sense of the wear on his body and the fact that he had a lot of soot in his lungs. He was working around the fire, he was melting copper, he was making tools. So I mean, it's just like he was probably an elder in his community, and they don't know why did he die. Why did somebody murder him? They shot him in the back with an arrow,
and he was fighting some people off.
Right.
So maybe
he was in some kind of fight with someone, and he ended up dead on the top of a mountain. Could he been a sacrifice? I don't believe in the sacrifice thing, because most sacrifices are treated differently. They're not usually shot in the back. They have their throat slit.
And it's
or
usually
they're stabbed in the heart.
And typically, what we've seen, it's like not a fight. Right. It's done.
It's thought of as an honor, and it's like you're prepared for it.
And
they
try defensive wounds.
Right, and they try to do it in more humane way. Like they want to do it quick so you don't have to suffer. This was a fight. This guy was fighting for his life. So I mean, he was,
and probably took some people out in the process.
But it could have been a war. Who knows? He could have been warring with someone. We don't know. It's just interesting. Like we have all this information, but we don't have any information.
I know. We have a lot of guesses.
So now we're gonna go on to Otzi's curse. Okay. So, and I found differing accounts of the timeline and how all these curses came out to play. So I'm just gonna kind of give you dates and things of what I have. In 2000, Helmut Simon, the guy who discovered Otzi, he was 67, and he was hiking near where they originally found Otzi. So he's in his 60s, he's still mountain climbing, because it's good for him. What the dude does, right? He was caught in a blizzard, fell off a cliff, and died. Oh, no. And, Helmut. I mean, they had to find him. He was frozen in the ice. They had to have, like, so he was frozen, too. He was found deceased, frozen in the ice. Oh, man. And the man who led the search team to find Simon died of a heart attack 1 hour after Simon's funeral, and he was 45 years old. So,
jeez.
I'm not done. In 2005, Conrad Spindler, the archaeologist who first discovered how old Otzi was, he died at the age of 55 from MS, complications of MS, and he was diagnosed with MS shortly after his examination of the ice mummy.
Oh my goodness.
So he dies, he's doing his thing with his mummy and then finds out he has MS, and then within a few years he's dead. A forensic examiner by the name of Otzi Rainer Henn was on his way to give a lecture about Otzi, and he got in a car accident. Kurt Fritz, age 52, was a mountaineer. He helped to recover the remains of Otzi after he was found. He got caught in an avalanche and died, and he was the only member of his party that actually died in this avalanche.
Oh my goodness.
Rainier Holtz, he was a documentary filmmaker, and he was there filming the recovery of Otzi from the mountain. He died of a brain tumor at age 47.
Jeez.
Shortly after. A lot of these happened all within a year of each other.
Holy cow.
Tom Loy, he's 63. He's a molecular biologist, and he identified the 4 different blood types that were found on Otzi when he died. He died in October of 2005 from blood disorder, and he was diagnosed with this blood disorder shortly after examining Otzi, and he was actually writing a book about Otzi when he died.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
No.
Guy.
7 people associated with Otzi all died almost within a year of each other.
Nope.
Between 2000 to 2005. 7 people.
No, sir. Will not be going near. I don't want to do this podcast.
I know.
No.
Like,
Margaret, what are you doing to me?
Nobody. It was like it's like he getting revenge on him being murdered. It's like this.
Yeah, but why are we talking about this and putting it out there to the world?
People need to know.
Yeah, but also, what if we are cursed?
There's a lot of weird where he was found was right on the border between Austria and Italy, and Austria and Italy fought over him. They're like, which one of us?
No, he's ours.
No, we want him. No, we want him. No, we want him. And they found out, actually, they mapped out where he was found, and he was 50 miles inside the Italian border, so he's Italian.
Okay.
The Italians own him. They have him. He resides now in the South Tyrol Museum of Archaeology in Bolzano, Italy. It's been his home since 1998. He has 3 floors dedicated to him in this museum. And they have the recreation of him there that they had made like
what he would look like.
Like a special effects person made him.
Yeah.
Even including real human hair on him.
Wow.
And he looks pretty old.
Yeah, I bet. Well, you think about the elements he's living in, out in the sun, out in the wind, out in the snow, out in everything.
Yes.
Your skin gets rugged.
Leathery.
Yeah.
He looks like leather. And a lot of people describe his mummy is there too in a special room with temperature control, and you can see him, and like his skin now is this golden leather, and it looks like expensive Italian shoes. It's terrible.
You're gonna get cursed for saying that.
What was I gonna say? There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, the people, Helmets and his Erica Simon, that found him. They were supposed to, like, in these, especially in Italy, there's a finder's fee. Usually you get a certain percentage, like 30% or something of the worth of the thing that you find. And they were suing them because they were like, "Oh, we'll give you this much," and they're like, "No, not $2,500. They want like $300,000. What would be equivalent of $300,000 US dollars?"
Right.
And I think that they won, but they're fighting it. Like,
they're still fighting it.
The people that were supposed to pay them.
Oh.
They're like, "Oh no, we're gonna appeal that decision because we don't want to give them that much money." It's like, do you really wish that don't you wish the Austrians had him now? And
I know, right?
They're like, we deserve more of this because they're not wrong. If they hadn't stumbled upon him, no one would have known. Still be up there.
Yeah.
So, like, all these people are fighting over him, and he's killing them all off.
That's what happens.
That's what he does.
That's what happens.
So that is
that makes me nervous because I'm afraid now.
It's only been 30 minutes.
That's all right.
That was a short one, and we bantered a bunch first. So yeah, but I was very excited to find this, and then I found all of these books about it, and then I started reading the books, and the books were, like, one of them was straight up fiction, and the other one was basically fiction because it was like, all the story about his life. I'm like, you don't know any of this?
You have no clue. I mean, you can guess by what he had on him and what, like, they found in his stomach and that kind of thing.
But it was a whole book, like 4 hours worth of reading of a book. And I'm like, you don't know that he was going to a wedding or somebody. You don't know anything. You don't know none of that.
No.
So
going to a wedding? How would you even know that?
Talking about him getting married, and I'm like, you don't know.
Oh, I doubt he was getting married at 45.
It's like the Vikings on history.
Yeah.
It's based in
facts.
Based
on fact, but it's
not facts.
No.
But, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, none of them were that good looking.
Some of them were.
Well, probably, but not all of them. And their teeth didn't look that good. Because they couldn't have.
They probably had most of those
out.
warriors had their teeth knocked out.
Yeah, they didn't have teeth.
Or they were brown.
And I bet they weren't. Well, maybe they were as handsome. What do I know? I don't know.
There had to have been handsome ones.
There had to have been, right?
It's more about charisma. Charisma gets
Vikings are hot. And I know they did bad things. I get it. But they still are hot.
Yeah, those brothers.
Man.
Ragnar Lothbrok. I'm going to kick him out of bed for eating crackers.
That's such a stupid saying.
It is. It makes me giggle every time, though, because, I totally would. I eat crackers in my bed.
Get out of my bed with those crackers.
Nope, I would totally. I don't care who you are. You would not eat crackers in my bed.
I don't care if you're hot or not. Don't you be eating crackers in my bed.
Nope, eating crackers in my bed.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, we're talking about cursed mummies. What my favorite thing to talk about.
I know. I figured it had to be mummy related.
Well, I was going to do a good haunting, but you just did a haunting, so I wanted to change it up a bit.
I like it. I liked it. It was very interesting. I have heard of him. Heard of him. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know anything about it.
You picture his mummy because he's all distorted because he was found laying on his. They killed him and just left him face down on the ground.
Right. They left him right there and
walked away. They did not care about him.
No. Well, they murdered him, so why would they?
It makes me sad.
Poor guy. I wonder why.
They weren't trying to steal the stuff because they left all of his shit with him.
Yeah, and he had those are defensive wounds. That's what they say are defensive wounds. Arms and hands.
His chest, his wrists, his hands.
All the places people are trying to.
And then he had that blow to his head. But I feel that happened when he got shot. Because he shot him in the back. It shattered his scapula. It probably hurt like hell.
Oh,
he probably fell forward and smashed his head on something.
Yeah, that happened, I bet, then.
That's what I think.
The defensive wounds when he got 2 other people with the arrow. Someone came at him, and then another person shot him in the back.
One arrow had 2 different bloods on it, so he shot one and had enough time to go and take the arrow out of the person he killed and then shoot another person with that arrow.
And probably when that happened...
And then retrieve it again.
And retrieved it.
Because he had the arrow.
And maybe when he was getting up to walk, they were fighting, and he shot him. And someone came to fight him. And someone's fighting him, and he's protecting himself with his hands. And some guy behind shoots him, and then he falls forward.
Yeah, probably those people he knew.
Oh, I bet.
His village. That's what I'm guessing.
I would like to know. That would be really cool to be able to have an insight of what happened and why it happened.
I know.
If you go back in time. I would kind of like to read a book about someone's idea of what happened.
Yeah, the book. I'll send you a link. It's they haven't. It was a script book.
Just
either that or near your public library.
Just to read what someone thinks their life would be like would be kind of interesting.
The Copper Age and
you
got going on for you in the Copper Age.
Yeah, what do you got going on? I don't know. I don't know anything about it really.
We're going to be going kayaking in a little bit.
Yeah, we are. I'm excited about it. But we have really good news. We know things now.
We know everything.
Well, I don't know about that.
Not everything. Everything about
AnchorCon.
What we need to know and what you need to know.
Yeah.
So
finally, we can give you exact times and dates.
Get out your little Google calendars. And
yes.
You're going to go to August 20th, it's a Saturday, 3 p.m.
We'll be doing a live recording at AnchorCon in a special room. We have 30 people come in. You got to get your tickets for AnchorCon for at least that Saturday to see us. If you want to see us record live, you can get the whole weekend pass if you want to. But that Saturday at 3 p.m. we'll be recording.
Make a post and tag us in it. Let us know you're coming. We would just love to know, anybody who's buying tickets just to see us.
Yeah, tag us when you get your tickets. On our Facebook and Instagram, we have posted a little flyer for it, and then the link to get the tickets are on there. So you want to make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram so that you can click on that and get your tickets right away.
And you can... Oh, lost my train of thought. Yep. Come see us. We want to see you. We're super excited about this. So come join us. And also, you're going to want to reach out to us if you have any ideas for topics you think we should cover that day. We have a few ideas ourselves, but
we're kind of curious what you think we should talk about.
If you're coming and you want us to talk about something specific, let us know. We'll look into it.
Yeah. What's our email?
It's thecousinsweird@gmail.com.
Margaret loves doing that.
I do.
And you can support us, not just by coming to AnchorCon. You can support us on our Patreon for $1 a month. You're a freaky friend. And you get bonus episodes and a free sticker every year. And then if you want to really jump in, you want to really support us hard, you can do that by $5 a month. You become a Terrible Trender. You get to get a sticker. You get a free gift every year. You get bonus episodes. You add free episodes, and you get a monthly live chat with other Patreons with us. So that's super fun and exciting. But you want to do that because our bonus episodes that we do, you only can see on Patreon.
We're going to be starting a new series for just our
Patreons.
So we'll let you know once those are recorded, and we'll maybe give you a little preview. And then if you like them, you'll have to join.
Yeah, you'll want to join because it'll be fun. And you get to see cool, like we're going to be posting old pictures on there of us when we're younger that are kind of funny. And you want to see those. You want to miss those.
We're pretty cute. And if you really want to support us, but you can't really afford it, because trust me,
we know.
We know how it is. Go to our Facebook page, like us, give us a review, share us, like recommend us to your friends and people who aren't even your friends. Just
strangers on the street.
Yeah, tell them how cool we are.
Listen to the Cousins Weird. Just yell it at random people.
Yes, and rate us on your favorite platform. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. So
do all those things.
We want you to just to let us know that you support us.
And then it puts us out there in the universe to other people who might like our podcast also. We think you're awesome. We appreciate you.
Hope you stay freaky.